What is the password to your social media account? I don't think we should answer that. No.
Right, Tom, you have directed, I didn't know this actually, you've directed 7 episodes of Smallville.
Yeah.
Have you got any plans to direct in the future? Maybe even on this show?
I mean, I would love to. I mean, I love being here and being around you guys. Maybe next season, who knows? But I do like it. There's something, one of the things about acting is you never really get to feel like you ever nailed anything, that you finished something. It's always like, oh, let me go again, let me make it better. With directing, you're able to sort of get that sense of accomplishment. Like, we got the scene, time to move on. And there's also, when you give a note to an actor, and I'm sure you've felt this in conversations with actors, when you can say something to someone and it sort of sparks something in their eyes, and then they go and they do a take on camera, it's magic. It's magical. It's a really good sense. I would love to.
Drop a little nugget.
Yeah.
A nugget from the gods. Cool, man. I'd like to ask you, actually, on the directing front.
Yeah.
When you are an actor in a scene and you are directing the scene, how does that work?
The first episode I ever directed, I was in 90% of the scenes.
Right.
And what happened was I had some good people around me on the show. I'd been on the show for, I think, 4 or 5 years. And I had some good directors say, you have to do more takes on yourself than the other actor. You're going to feel like after 2 takes, you don't want to spend too much time on you. It's going to seem egotistical. But the truth is, do 5 takes of you and 2 of the other, if that's the case, because you're kind of in between it. And I also was working with people who were, I didn't go back every take and watch what was going on, but every 2 or 3 takes to see that we were.
Did you have like a body of trust at the monitors?
Very much.
And is that like what your script supervisor and your DP?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Director of photography.
And it's sort of like, I mean, I don't know if you have any interest in directing, but you kind of set that all up beforehand. And then I got a call when they were in post from the guy who ran the show, and he was like, so everybody else out of the room, and sort of sat me down, and I was like, yeah, so how was my episode? He goes, not your best work. And I was like, what do you mean? I thought I nailed it. And that he was the one who told me, like, this is what happens. And so when I hear about other actors directing themselves, it's like, oh, I kind of know how tough that is. But it's not impossible. I recommend it. You learn a lot.
Yeah, no, I would love to have a go. I'm just slightly worried about if they do more takes on me than the other actors. They're just there going, look at him directing, hogging all the limelight.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Ask me. Come on, ask me something.
I went to Comic-Con with you this year. That was the first time we really got to spend any time together. The question is, you've been there a few times already. Is there anything interesting encounter with any fans? Anything strange?
I mean, the weirdest thing about Comic-Con is that it feels like Groundhog Day when you're there. Because it's like, it's great fun. And it's so different to any other press that you do. But there's like a party on the Friday night and the Saturday night that all the like cast and people get invited to, and they're at the same venue. And so you leave Comic-Con every year going, oh, remember at that party? And you go, that was on the Friday, that was on the, and it's just all one thing. But no, there was one year that I bumped into half of my entire house share from London from when I first came out of acting school.
Out of nowhere?
Yeah, I mean, well, so I used to live with James McAvoy, who I was at drama school with, and an actor called Jesse Spencer, who's on Chicago Fire now. And bizarrely, I saw Jesse at this party, and I was like, oh, Jess, what are you doing? He was like, hold on a minute. And he went to the bar to go and get a drink and came back with James. And we were like, wait. And then another friend of ours who used to live in the house rocked up, who was there promoting a video game that he was on.
That's
so
amazing.
It was quite a weird sort of like...
And it wasn't arranged.
Friends reunited at Comic-Con.
That's hilarious.
That's my story. Anyway. Yeah. Right. Let me ask you something very interesting. Okay. I didn't know this either. This is very useful. I heard you initially turned down the role of Clark Kent on Smallville.
Yeah.
What finally convinced you to play said role?
Well, at the time, they didn't have a script, or they weren't releasing it. You just kind of had to come in and audition. And there were other things that I was out for at the time. And they didn't apparently find their guy. And David Nutter, who directs a lot of pilots, very good director, he was directing it. And he called and said, come in and read it. We can't let you take it, but come in and read it and then, see how you feel. So I came into the office. They sort of put me behind a closed door. I read it, and I was like, oh, this is actually different. This is about a kid trying to understand who he is and what his place is in the world, as opposed to just, throwing on tights and a cape and flying around and
Which I would have loved, to be honest.
Well, so then a lot like you, as soon as the process started, it was like 3 weeks, and we were like, I had it. It was I think they were really desperate. I think they'd gone through every other actor, and I think it was just like, well, you know, he kind of looks like the guy.
Well, I think there was probably a lot of pressure on their shoulders as well, with it being a huge sort of, you know, DC property and all of those things. But they found their man. Tis and was you. Hello. You want to see more of me? Subscribe below.